What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican, back with an article, Daily Mail. But here you go. So, as you can see, it's Friday, the 14th of October. That's today. And so, this article was published right here, as you can see, the 12th of October. So, this is new news. And I'm going to explain partly why this stuff is happening. Of course, you can't always say 100%, but you have a general idea what's going on. So, Switzerland proposes a 900-pound, what I take is close to €1,000 fine for anyone covering their face under the Burqa ban law, aka they want to ban niqab. Draft law was today sent to Parliament by Swiss government and has exemptions. These include suggesting waiving the ban on aircraft and places of worship. Comes after the proposal to ban facial coverings in public won victory. The referendum on issue happened in Switzerland last year. So Switzerland's proposed a 900-pound ban for fine. Man, I'm stumbling over my tongue here. Switzerland has proposed a 900-pound fine for anyone covering their face under the Burqa ban law. The draft law was today sent to Parliament by the Swiss government and includes several exemptions, including suggesting waiving the ban on aircraft in diplomatic premises and places of worship. Additionally, coverings linked to health, safety, climatic conditions, and local customs would remain valid. You have to ask yourself, like, what's the logic behind like having exceptions that seem pretty broad if you're going to just put a ban in place in the first place? You see what I'm saying? Either it's banned or it's not. I mean, I suppose, I can understand in certain cases, like maybe weapons, like maybe only certain individuals, police force, military should have weapons, people who, pass certain registration tests, whatever they want to decide, but like, why the face veil? What's the obsession? I mean, they were forcing us to mask under the COVID regulations by threat of fines. And now it's like, if you don't uncover your face by threat of fines, you are going to be fined. I guess everybody just needs to wear medical masks, right? Instead of a face veil. And artistic performances and advertising would be exempt. So basically what they're saying here is artistic performances and advertising would be exempt. So we have a good example of the advertising right here in this photo. As long as it's like hostile, I guarantee you it'll be okay. Artistic performances means any sort of like video, photographs that criticize it will be fine. Anything that praises it but's artistic, guaranteed will be banned. Guaranteed. So you see how sneaky they're trying to be here. Also, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I might be, but I doubt it. Also, under the draft law, masks deemed necessary to protect oneself while exercising fundamental rights to expression and assembly would be allowed as long as authorities approved and public order was assured. I mean, since when has like the niqab ever been a matter of public order? When has niqab ever caused like, something like public order to fall out of place? You had like some little 120-pound sister walking around, wearing a face veil, and public order is lost. It comes after a proposal to ban face coverings in public won narrow victory in a binding referendum last year. Yeah, did that count for masks? Guarantee you it didn't. During Corona, there was like, wear it or else. Now this all of a sudden, whatever. The proposal was launched by the same group that organized a 2009 ban on new minarets. Yeah, those dangerous minarets. While the cabinet proposal to levy fines did not mention Islam directly and is aimed at stopping violent protesters from wearing masks, local politicians, media, and campaigners have referred to the measure as the Burqa ban. Yeah, it's not about Islam and Muslims, but we're going to see, because that looks like, leftist, protesters right there. I mean, and just a quick question. Why does this sister look angry? Why would they, they draw this, Burqa ban photo. Why is she mad? You ever walked around and seen like a sister walking around with a face like that? What do you care if she does? You know what? I'll tell you something. I walk around Europe a lot because I live in Europe, and this is how the average European looks without a face veil. So why would you mad if someone covered up their angry face with a face veil? Y'all ugly and mad anyway. So, but why is she angry? You see, this is the thing. This is all just to incite and inflame people. against Muslims and Islam. It's not about like any particular logic or reason. It's just like, yo, let's make this angry face woman. You know why? Because they can't find a real photo to use. They had to draw one and make her look like some sort of angry shinobi ninja. You don't see sisters walking around looking like this. And then she puts on a base. Get out of here. Oh, man. Following consultations, the cabinet watered down calls to anchor it in the criminal code and fine offenders up to 10,000 francs. So it's crazy. You got to think about this. So I'm just reading this thing here, this caption here, and it says people hold banners during during a protest hours after Swiss voters accepted an initiative, the so-called anti-Burqa vote, to ban full facial coverings public places in Bern on March 7 last year. Pictured. It's funny because everybody's talking about, yo, let's support the women of Iran, their free choice, their right to free choice to cover, not cover, what else, whatever. This should be their choice. And then when it comes over here, the exact same thing's happening, just in reverse. You're trying to force women out of clothing or out of the clothing that they choose to wear by threat of a fine. What's the difference? Really? What's the difference? It's not significant, but they don't see their own hypocrisy. It's interesting. In a statement, the cabinet said the ban on covering faces aims to ensure public safety and order. Punishment is not the priority. Then why the 900-pound fine? Facial coverings had been called a symbol of extreme political Islam, according to proponents of the ban. What's political Islam? I ask everybody, what's political Islam? There's no political party that has representation for Muslims in all of Europe. What is political Islam? Where are there votes, referendums, whatever else, that are like driving out Christian European values or whatever else and replacing them with Islamic values and virtues on a political level in Europe? The vote was condemned as discriminatory by Muslim groups. Very true, it is. Who vowed legal challenges. You're not going to get it because you're in their country. This is what they want. Full face veils were banned from being worn in public in 2011. Elsewhere, Denmark, Austria, the Netherlands, and Bulgaria have full partial bans on wearing face coverings in public. Around 5% of the Swiss population is made up of Muslims. Most have roots in Turkey, Bosnia, and Kosovo, places where the face veil is not really much of a thing. So they're trying to make a law for 5% of the population. Oh, that's the end of the article. So now when we look at the article here, let's look at some of these comments. But let me go, before we go into this, let me just talk about this. I mean, what's going on here is the worse the situation gets in Europe with their stupid political decisions, based on this war going on in Europe, the more we're going to see stuff like this. This is the European way. And I generally like Europeans generally, but let's just be real about them. Every time something goes wrong, they find an out group to blame and shift focus to. At the run up to the Second World War, it was the Jews. At the run up to World War III, which it looks like they're pushing for, it's going to be the Muslims. So just be prepared, man. Y'all guys just know that's what these people are on. They're a bunch of just foolish morons, and when they don't have any sort of plan, they start to pick at people. They give somebody else something to look at other than the real problem. I mean, heck, we even do it at work. You start talking about something else when you're about to be called upon your BS. And this is what politicians are doing. And so I just love these comments on Daily Mail. I just like watching these things. It says, we can only dream about having politicians who would be this brave or even suggest this. Great idea. Spot on, Switzerland. Good luck. Great idea. You see, this is what I mean. They can ban this stuff, right? And then 5% of the population of Switzerland, these are all English speakers, is most likely UK commenters. It's like, why do you care? You see, this is just a hatred of Muslims. Tomorrow, if they banned niqab across all of Europe, these guys would still have a miserable life. Guaranteed they have a miserable life. Because why are they happy? I don't care if Nazis walk down the streets of Germany wearing swastikas. It's against the law in Germany, but if they did it, if it wasn't, I wouldn't care. They looked at me, that black guy. Well, you stay over there. I don't care what you do. Don't come over here mess with me. You won't get cat busted in your face. You know what I mean? So why do you care? Because you have a miserable life. When you have a miserable life, you focus on stuff just like, and you get a little bit of joy out of like maybe some random vicarious victory that somebody else did to the people that you hate. But at the end of the day, you wake up the next day and you're still miserable. Well done, Switzerland, about time, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at the worst comments. I just like to get an idea. I mean, Daily Mail readers are just probably the most unintelligent. Women just can't win. Absolutely right. Let's put a like on that. That's absolutely correct. Women can't win. In Iran, they're being forced to wear, niqabs, hijabs, whatever else. And people are, oh, yeah, you support those women. And then over here, they're forcing women to take clothing off, clothing that women choose to wear. And then they want to find them. It's a mess. This one is just West putting himself in the place, blah, blah, blah. This is very true. We all like banning religious freedom until they come for us. Why would you downvote with this? It's a deeply sinister move when the government tells you that you have to show your face in public and can't what you want to. It's kind of true, because it's like now they're telling you can't show your face, but before they were telling us you have to show your face. Not before they were telling us we had to cover our faces with Corona. And when you read on the packages of the mask, look on the packaging of a medical mask and see what it says there. I'm not allowed to say it here on YouTube, despite the fact that it's on the package. If I read that package, I'll get a YouTube channel strike. Just go look on any package, the little plastic package, and look at the efficacy of a mask. And what it says the efficacy of a mask is in protecting you from Corona. I can't say what it is, but the mask packaging will. If I say what the mask packaging says here, the mask packaging says, I'll get a YouTube channel strike. Go take a look. But they forced us to wear these things, despite the warning on the packaging telling us that the efficacy was interesting, we'll call it. Now they're telling you have to uncover your face. Well, wait, make up your freaking mind. What's going on here, people? I love this. This guy got downvoted. I'm gonna give him an upvote. Didn't everyone cover their faces for the last 2 years by force and threat of fines? Now we want to fine people for covering their faces? Time to stick to one story. This guy says give it a rest. You should give it a rest. Give what a rest. He's speaking totally facts. You see, this is what they do. They hate that logic and reason is used when you talk about these things. They don't. It's not about logic and reason. Remember, I told you guys, they're just miserable people trying happy. You know what? If all the Muslims left Europe, they just find somebody else amongst themselves to pile on because they're miserable. These people are just miserable. Good one right here. No different in face concealment than a face nappy. Face nappy, you're talking about the mask during Corona. Let's give this guy an upvote. This guy says, "Will your face nappy forced upon you by a religion?" Downvote that. He got 23 upvotes. He said, "No, but by some idiots in government." We're gonna upvote that. After all those COVID masks, how can this be justified? It can't. He got downvoted by 30. And then here, look at the response. Shut up. Logic and reason doesn't apply here. What about masks? Oh, don't forget they were compulsory all last year. Upvote him. The masks were to help save lives, not oppress you. Has this guy ever spoken to a sister and asked her if she feels oppressed in her niqab? In Europe. In Europe. Let's come back to that. In Europe, where she has the might of Western gynocentric feminist law to protect her. Do you really think she feels oppressed in her face veil? Stupid people. And the masks were oppressive because, again, like I said, read on the packaging of your mask the efficacy of that mask. It was nothing but oppression. But they see no problem in forcing everyone to wear useless face masks wherever they feel like. Upvote. He just covered the efficacy of those masks. Yeah. This guy said need a similar fine for wearing a COVID mask. Anyway, guys, you really got to start looking at Europe for what it is. Europe is problematic, and the worst things get out here. The worst things it's going to get for us out here as Muslims because they don't have a plan, and so their plan is to just distract everyone with whatever they think they can get away with. And Muslims are a very easy target, especially sisters, especially niqabi sisters. But it always just starts there, then it keeps going. That's just the first step. Then they go to this, then they go to that, then they go to that, then they go to that. They never stop. These are people that 100%. There's. I'm just gonna be real. These are still the racist Nazis that existed back in the days. It's just it's a real talk. And I'm not like some victim mentality. Oh, woe is us Muslims. Oh, woe is us Black people. I'm not even that type of guy. But you just got to be real. We just got to be real. We got to accept it. And so, guys, I understand a lot of us were born out here, but a lot of you guys have like a home country because a lot of you guys are ethnic Muslims. That means you come from like, Pakistan, Arab countries, whatever else. And as much as you don't want to hear it, man, get your education, go back to your country and build your country up. I don't have anywhere really to go. No matter where I go, y'all don't want me because y'all are racist in your own ways too. It's like, when you see a Black Muslim, y'all don't want to have anything to do with me. These people just don't have anything to do with me because I'm Black. So y'all are really all the same to me. But y'all do have a home. And so I don't have a home, so I don't have anywhere to go to. You guys, I don't know what y'all doing out here, man. This Western world, this is my struggle. This is the revert struggle. You people out here who have a home country to go to after you've gotten your education and even work experience and some cash, you're just oppressing yourself. You have zero excuse, and if you get oppressed, if you get attacked, or whatever else, that's your personal choice because you know what it's hitting for. If you don't, I just told you. This is your man, Abuamerican. I'm out.